Welcome back to the action, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to get into game 2, but first some of the veteran players tell us why the fight for 3rd place is one of the most emotional matches in the LCS.
The 3rd, 4th place match is always a really tough match to play because one team gets to go to Worlds and the other team is going home.
The 3rd place game was even more important than the game for the 1st place. It's pressure, but it depends on the team, I guess. Some teams like fall under the pressure and some teams get more excited from the pressure.
You're very nervous, you want to win, and you want to go to Worlds. If you don't go to Worlds, you're gonna feel sad.
There's so much emotion in it, and basically going to Worlds and not going to Worlds could potentially change the career of pro players.
So in Season 2, we faced 2 of the best EU teams.
So we were really worried because we knew CLG was a really good team and they will really put their mind into that 3rd game.
CLG back then was one of the best teams, if not the best team.
We felt that we needed to make it, we deserved, we have been playing well throughout the whole year.
It's not like we knew we would lose to them. It was close, but at the time I don't feel like we were strong enough.
We lost 0-2 versus them and in the 3rd place, and it was really devastating for us pretty much.
I remember after we lost the game, there were some fans like asking for signature, but normally I'm a really chill dude even if we lose, but I was just so mad. I walked out and I wasn't talking to anyone, and I just went out and I took the train back alone, and I was just like holding my hands to my face, and I was like, how did this happen?
Last year it was very different because our team didn't actually do well. We were very up and down.
We actually stepped it up a lot towards the end of the season, so we had a better shot than we should have. But just overall from the season, Gaming was a far superior team.
I don't think that anyone cared about rivalry. It was only about like going to Worlds. So we were trying our best and we did.
One last fight, it's only Wicked that stands between them here and the World Playoffs. They are going to do it, a 2-1 thrilling best of 3.
I don't even know why I was so emotional. It's just like the emotional breakout, it's like you can't control it. That was what was going in my head, I guess.
Not making it to Worlds, essentially it broke up CLG EU. Like that was the day CLG EU died, and it's actually like the 2nd time I think I've actually cried after losing a match.
Even though they lost, I think that they're like sportsmanship guys, and it is the attitude that you should have. Like if you lose, you're happy for your opponents. That's how the sports works. No way 2 sides can win.
Never a truer word said, really. No way 2 sides can win. There'll only ever be 1 champion, no matter how many teams are involved.
And I just have to say, looking at Alex here when he was crying, he was so happy he qualified. And also looking at CLG EU, just the sportsmanship, he talked about it. And I miss that team because they were so nice to play against and play with, because every time you played them, instantly after you would just go out and talk, have some fun and talk about the game. So I miss CLG EU.
And young Crepo.
And also young
Crepo.
Crepo.
It's very young. We've all aged a bit, ladies and gentlemen, as the seasons have rolled on. So now it is time for our next match in this series between ROCAT and SK Gaming. SK Gaming took game 1. We'll see if ROCAT can come back and take game 2 as the pick and bans get underway. Oriana taken away. ROCAT, of course, had that in the last matchup. They don't want to allow Jesiz to get his hands on it. And again, Hogmore this time banned out, focusing those AD carries SK like they did in game 1.
Yeah, and SK can just ban Tristana now as well, and have Jinx or Twitch open for CandyPanda, and then we have to see what Celaver is going to play. And this Oriana ban from ROCAT simply shows to me that they are afraid of SK actually picking Oriana in the very first rotation, and they don't want to first pick it themselves.
So what's going to come down here? Surely a Kassadin ban you'll be feeling, or a Maokai, one of which is probably going to end up getting through here unless ROCAT decide to ban either of those away here. And that may just be the strategy for SK Gaming, and we've seen that appearing a couple of times this week already, where teams will leave both Maokai and Kassadin up and say, take your pick, we'll have the other one.
It's actually really good for SK Gaming on red side here, because if they do leave Maokai, Kassadin and Tristana open now, whatever Rocket first picks, it doesn't really matter for SK because they're going to get 2 of the other really, really strong picks on their side. So if there's going to be first pick Kassadin from Rocket, well, we take Maokai Tristana, and we are more than happy. It's actually what they're doing now. They're leaving all these very, very strong picks open because they can get 2 of them.
And you could see the smile on Overpow's face. He's like, yeah, I'm going to get Kassadin. Oh, wait, hang on a minute. This is a dilemma. And Xaxus, he's the one that's making the pick. So he's like, screw you guys. I'm Maokai in the top lane. Let's see if we can handle Kassadin.
I actually feel like it's the right call. While the Kassadin worked out for Rocket yesterday and they won against Fnatic, it was also due to Celaver playing Tristana late game and being completely untouched. Like, Fnatic didn't have a comp who could actually dive him. So I like the fact they picked Maokai here, especially also because Xaxus had issues in the last game. Lulu didn't work for him. Nidalee is banned here. Clearly, he probably felt like he wants to get the strongest possible top laner for him at the moment, and now they can just trade tanks if Freddy wants to play the Mundo. Otherwise, he's going to play the Aatrox probably into the Maokai.
It's an interesting choice here, taking Morgana and Kha'Zix. So Kha'Zix obviously a big choice here for Svenskeren. We saw Jankos playing it pretty much exclusively yesterday as well. And Morgana, we all know how important she can be. Question now is for me, what the Rocket go with? I'm expecting that Tristana could come out. Will they take Kassadin though? I'm not sure about it.
Well, if they do take Kassadin and Tristana, I actually don't like them together because you're too weak in the mid game. So I would like to just see one of them come out from Rocket here. So if they want to go Kassadin, they pretty much have to go Corki with it as the AD carry to have some mid game power. But we have to see what they do. If they do go for the 2 late game carries in Kassadin and Tristana, they're going to have to just really rely on outplaying SK Gaming in the mid game. Otherwise, they're going to have so many issues.
Oh, we'll see how it works out. Don't forget Twitch is still out there as well. The rat, possibly for CandyPanda, could be a pickup to try and stealth his way around at the moment. There's a lot of dive in there. Ahri again, wide open for Jesiz. He'll happily take it, and there is potentially the rat. They haven't locked him in yet, but as you talked about, this is going to leave Rocket a little weak early on.
Yeah, especially in the mid game, they're gonna have big issues. Ahri is very good in the mid game. Twitch is very good in the mid game once he gets his blade completed. And you're also gonna see if Twitch gets logged in as the last pick then, if they do get the Aatrox now, as we expected from Freddy. There's the pick potential coming in from SK Gaming here. They can chase Rocket around on the map in the mid game. They can constantly look for these picks here, create the lead they need. So we're never gonna see the late game point of Rocket. That being said, if we do get to the late game with the Kassadin, Tristana and Maokai, then Rocket are looking very strong in team fights.
What are they going to finish off with here then? Jankos bringing in Elise will give him a little more to work with early on. Are we going to see VandeR life once again on Thresh? We will. Thresh locked in for him, and especially in game 1 yesterday against Fnatic. VandeR was absolutely amazing on Thresh.
Some very mobile targets, however, on the side of SK Gaming here. So going to be a bit harder for him to land the hooks, but if one player in Europe can do it, of course, he's the one, or one of them at least, who is a great Thresh player, Yellow Star as well. They've shown them good moves. But again, Rocket, we have talked about that comp. Very strong in teamfights in the late game. Gonna have some big troubles into the mid game here where SK Gaming can really look to punish them. And honestly, I don't think SK Gaming mind giving away all these strong picks. Because first of all, they get Morgana, which is at the moment one of the strongest supports, also 4 nRated. You get Kha'Zix, same pick as last game for Svenskeren. He's been dominating on it. Jankos has played well on Kha'Zix in the semifinal against Fnatic, so considered also one of the top junglers. And you get Ahri for Jesiz again, not being banned away, and the most comfortable pick in the top lane for Freddy, pretty much ever.
Yeah, strong start for them, and of course SK yesterday, they did play in that top lane. They managed to finally get their hands on Aatrox. It was against Alistar though, didn't manage to do it against Maokai, so we'll see how it works out for Freddy this time around. It is pretty much his old tried and tested champion though. I remember distinctly back in the LCS Summer where he was saying I got a 100% win record on this, guys, just saying, don't make me lose this game. He did lose one, he has lost one on it, but this time up against Xaxus on Maokai. And Xaxus, you know, even honestly for all of Rocket, you know, when you 1-0 down in this best-of-5 series, the one main thing you need is comfort picks.
Yeah.
And I feel every single member of that team right now is going to be happy with their selections.
I agree. Again, late game, they have an insane comp in these team fights here, but they have to get to the late game. And last game, they had a very good mid game themselves, but they lost it to SK Gaming. They didn't ward properly. they took the wrong fights, they got caught out of position, and never got to do anything in mid-game here. So it's going to be hard for him to survive against SK if SK plays like they did in the last game.
Well, they also have to avoid the almost typical ROC thing that we've said so many times this season. You've got a late game comp. Why are you fighting over this dragon now? Don't fight over the dragon. Let him have it. Push the tower somewhere else. Take what you can, but don't end up fighting or half fighting and losing 3 men, 2 men here. They need to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing that you mentioned. Obviously, SK have got a very mobile team. ROC have got 5 gap closers. Everybody on that team can pile in, be it over a Dragon Pit, a Baron Pit, jumping onto SK. CandyPanda has to play so cautious. He was eaten dark bindings left and right yesterday against Alliance. If he gets caught out by VandeR, if he gets hooked in, everything is going to blow him up, and then SK is suddenly without one of their main characters.
But also, I mean, in the late game, SK Gaming won't be looking to just group 5 members and run straight into the face of Rocket, because then they're going to lose the fight.
Of course.
They're instead going to look to get some picks, especially if we do get to the late game point where CandyPanda becomes so insanely strong himself in these one-on-ones. So SK Gaming on their side, if we get to the late game point, we'll look for picks. CandyPanda does have a black shield, so it's going to be slightly harder to lock him up.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So, level 1, will we see any action here? We did see a bit of a late invade just to get those wards down last time around from ROC on the red side. It looks like they were trying for something a little bit similar. Once again, sweeping length was picked up by Jankos, and they'll use that to get rid of the ramp ward there. And that's something that's caused actually Fnatic a couple of problems yesterday. We saw exactly the same here, which on one hand is a worrying sign as well. If ROC are playing these level 1s at such a predictable level, the thing is that generally at level 1, unless someone makes a catastrophical positioning mistake, there's usually not going to be any action other than buff trading going on.
Well, we do see ROC with the lane swap here, so they don't want to have the one-on-one against Freddy's Aatrox, and also moving Celaver and VandeR up to this top side, and we'll get a red buff. And Svenskeren was actually starting at the red buff himself, so he's going to be delayed a little bit, running down to this red buff of ROC. So slightly behind now, but should be able to get 2 buffs anyway.
Well, Freddy knows he's now in a 2v1. He purposely does not go for any CS, will sit around. Svenskeren instantly runs off. Freddy gets found, Celaver peekabooing. Going up towards him, he's going to get the explosive shot in him. That's going to annoy Freddy. Actually, just started off with a single shot. Svenskeren's getting that red buff now, and the rest of ROC are sweeping round. So potential 4-0, or are they just going to come round in this mid lane early? Jesiz, well, he's making tracks down south. They're not going to go full force on him. They're sticking around. Jesiz being forced out of lane. ROC not going to go too deep on this one. So 2v1 in both lanes, or 2v0 at the bottom lane at the moment. This gives an advantage for SK, you would feel, because again, they have that bottom half of the jungle. They could go for that dragon early on.
Yeah, so if VandeR stays in the top lane, SK Gaming should be able to rush the early dragon, but because Svenskeren was so delayed at getting his red buff here, getting his first buff, because he was going to start a red buff here, they won't be able to do it early on, and VandeR is getting level 2 now. He's at the point where he's basically staying in lane against Freddy just to zone him away, and he also knows when Freddy's in the top lane, there's no dragon being taken by SK Gaming, because they need him to be there and help Svenskeren and help nRated take the dragon here. So, oh, they're actually going up to this top side. Let's see what Jankos can do.
Just going to force him away. The cocoon actually lands. They're going to go in towards it. Twisted Advance gets on towards Freddy. Has to flash out. Flash was used by Xaxus as well. They didn't even get the blood well of Freddy, so that was a good flash by him.
Nice flash here and a lot of early aggression from Rocket, using the fact they had 2 people in the jungle to get this gank here and getting a lot of damage on the tower now.
Early tower for ROC, that's something that they've done consistently, but SK Gaming move directly over towards that dragon. AD carry can come to join him. Ari could join from that mid lane as well, but for now it'll just be Svenskeren and nRated doing this one alone, just juggling the aggro. But here comes Xaxus and Jankos once again, going to go towards Ari. But if they walk down towards that dragon area now, SK probably have to stop this.
Well, nRated is taking a lot of damage. He's trying to just dance around the dragon, get it to constantly reset his auto attack. They're coming in here. Xaxus is only level 1 though.
Dark Binding caught on one. Svenskeren's going to be the focus target. He gets the smite, and no! Does doesn't quite get the kill. Svenskeren gets away. Now CandyPanda sneaks on in there. Jankos going to be the focus target. They will get themselves first blood. Freddy will pick that up. Overpow Xaxus. Oh, the charm on Xaxus. That will be his death, and he will not get away with it. It is a dragon traded for 2 kills.
So SK Gaming took a lot of damage here while tanking the dragon. Freddy wasn't there. He was saving his teleport in case the fight would break out here. 2 members coming down from Rocket at first. Then Overpow Johnsen. Xaxus is only level 1. He's the guy going in. Jankos gets the steal, execute from Elise and smite. But now with the teleport from Freddy and with VandeR running from base and Celaver sitting in the top lane, this fight is heavily in favor of SK Gaming. And they do pick up 2 kills here. Xaxus falling behind. Let's see actually who got the kill. Jesiz picked it up here. Great for him on Ari.
And Svenskeren covered up his fail jump quite nicely there with a last-second flash as well as he jumped into the wall. But was able to even come back around and offer a few more void spikes into that fight. So it leaves Freddy then with a 1-0-1. One of the most annoying champions I think that Freddy can get, and a lot of teams will say it, is he's just relentless on Aatrox. He'll just push and push and push overall. Yeah, you might kill him a couple of times, but he's going to be getting strong enough, and he's just going to keep pushing you. You've got to send someone in to deal with him.
And while SK Gaming did pick up 2 kills here, if you do look at the farm, especially in the mid lane, Overpow was sitting there and just farming while Jesiz ran down to the dragon. He was also ganked twice, or we can say 2 people moving in towards him. Freddy just want to try and force a flash here from Overpow. Actually, he doesn't have flash. Can I land charm? They can.
Oh.
Not really going for it. Anyway, so 2 kills for SK Gaming at the dragon, but Jankos stole it, and a lot of farm here picked up by both Overpow and Celaver while it happened, before Overpow joined in and was part of their, at least stealing the dragon.
Well, they've held equal on gold, and now they're looking to push maybe a dive 4v2 on this bottom lane. We'll see how it works out. Remember, no flashes for either of these. Cocoon lands on Svenskeren. That will slow things down. Freddy now also caught out. Twisted advance. Teleport comes out from Overpow. Tower hit again on CandyPanda. They're all low. That's going to be Freddy. He's caught out here. This was bad timing. They read this one like a book, and Overpow will now get a kill as well. Everything going the way of Rocket in terms of Overpow.
And that's also one of the very, very strong points about running double teleport here. Overpow from the mid lane, instantly teleported down, picked up a kill, turned the gang around, and SK Gaming here giving up kills and farm to Overpow on this Kassadin. Need to be careful, because we do know what happens if Kassadin gets to late game and if he snowballs out of control.
I mean, Fnatic risked it yesterday as well, went for a similar kind of pick ban strategy where they say, okay, let Kassadin go through. How good is Overpow going to be? And he also had a lane which you were expecting him to maybe not do badly in, but not be as strong as he actually ended up being, especially because we're talking about Overpow here, the man who is very, very passive in that mid lane as a general rule of thumb. And I mean, if you look at it now, 1-0-0, he's actually up in CS over Jesiz.
Yeah, so the lane is not horrible for him here, especially because he can start Flask and teleport on Kassadin. He has the magic shield as well from his Q, so it's actually a fine enough lane for him to sit and farm. It's more once Jesiz starts picking up the themes, gets the GFG, then the mid-game power of the Aura is gonna be very scary to deal with, and something the rest of Rocket has to be careful or has to remember if they do pick a fight and Jesiz might be there. Because Kassadin normally needs a bit of time to rank up. He needs his death cap, he wants to get a Rod of Ages as well, want to get a void stuff before we really start seeing Kassadin do some burst damage. Otherwise, it's just a lot about chasing and cleaning up the fights.
Well, SK, I think they want to reset the wave here. They want to really just ram it into Rockat's face, which is what they're trying to force. Svenskeren taking himself a little peek up there. Celaver still holding the wave well, though. He turned that explosive shot off, making sure he can just farm up quietly. I don't think Svenskeren's going to help too much on that one. CandyPanda down this bottom wave. He has fell behind in terms of CS. Just shove that one wave up. He should get a good wave and continue on. At the moment, it is Rocket with the early advantage.
SK moving down towards his bottom lane now then with nRated as well, and we'll see how long Xaxus actually sticks around. Blue buffs are starting to come in here, so I'll go over to Overpow in the mid lane. See, got himself the red as well after his kill earlier on. Jesiz has now managed to get himself level with CS, but with this next wave moving towards the tower, that was pushed up very quickly by Jesiz because he just wanted to simply back away, get himself that blue buff, may even end up going home after this as well to do a bit more shopping.
And Overpow is sitting on 2,800 gold at the moment. He's just looking to go back and instantly complete the Rod of Ages. Oh, Freddy, you got hooked.
The hook goes straight in. He's in trouble. No. Passive available, of course, and that was a fantastic hook there. Well worked out, actually. Jankos, of course, just repelling away. He knew he could take a couple of tower hits and get away.
They need to take this tower fast, however, and go down to this bottom lane because 3 members from SK Gaming is pushing it in, and Dragon as well spawning fairly soon. So I need to get this tower, reset the wave here so Freddy can go in and pick up all of the minions. It won't be as easy for him to just sit and freeze it and use teleport then down for Dragon. So you do see Celaver just trying to get as many minions to die as possible, realize it's not going to happen, and now has to push the next wave and actually leave it for Freddy. So he's going to get a lot of farm.
SK making good use. Look at that. They've managed to set up a trap in that bush. They want someone to freely walk in.
I'm not sure that they are, at least for now though. We see that Jesiz is doing a good job of pressuring that middle turret. There is Overpow. He's gonna. Oh, he put the ward in there. Rip walks away.
That was tight.
The binding missing. And actually, Jankos going aggressive there. Jesiz coming around. There's a TP coming onto the ward. Overpow dives in. Bit of damage onto Svenskeren. But they back off. Dragon is now live.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird TP from Xaxus here. He wanted to join for the Dragon, so he didn't actually waste anything else but the Summoner. He was going to go there anyway, but a bit of an over-aggressive TP from Xaxus. He might need it later on here.
I think Overpow, because he saw him go in and force pulse, I think they wanted to slow him so he could instantly get in there, get the twisted advance and get themselves a kill. They wanted to make a pick. It didn't work out, but they have got themselves positional advantage and they are starting off the Dragon early on here. SK, slow to react, teleport coming in. Freddy's going to join this fight. Overpow off the side, has to rip walk out. Jesiz is going to go full on aggression, gets the charm onto Xaxus. SK jumping in towards this one. They will get the top laner down. The Dragon's still yet to fall. Who will pick that one up? It is going to be finally Rocket that get it. They've lost 3 members in the process. Jankos has got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He flashes out, but look at Rocket coming round the side, leaping on, getting the resets. They're going to continue chasing.
And Jankos very, very low here on this backside, but Overpow and Celaver gonna be able to hold Jesiz and Freddy away. Overpow going in there, actually a lot of damage onto Freddy. Celaver actually gets the kill. He's gonna just rocket jump over. Tower is still there, of course, so couldn't follow behind Freddy more, and Rocket have got to be happy with that.
They should be very, very happy. There was no play completed for CandyPanda yet. Jesiz as well was sitting on just his Athenes. He had a lot of gold in his back pockets, and SK Gaming went for the fight here, ended up losing it. And let's just see again here. They completely ignore the fact that Celaver and Overpow is in the game. First they go over Xaxus, the tank. He's going to die in the back line here. Next up, VandeR goes in, sacrifices himself. Celaver is left completely untouched, just jumping around. Same goes for Overpow. They're both on full HP at this point. Who cares about killing Jankos now? In the back line, again, the AD carry and the mid lane are just running around, getting the kills they want, keep chasing up, pick up more kills. And Jesiz for this Dragon fight here was sitting on almost 2,000 gold. CandyPanda was sitting on 1,200 gold. No blade completed, no Athenes completed for Jesiz either. They were weaker in terms of items, and also they picked the wrong targets. Rocket takes the fight with the extremely late game combi. I would say they take the fight definitely because Kassadin and Tristana picked up the kills.
But SK got the Dragon, so you got to balance it out. It was what, 2 for 2 in kills? 2 for 3, I'm not sure. But Dragon picked up nonetheless, so even. But like you say, a 2-0-2 on a Kassadin, a 2-0-2 on a Tristana. You cannot hope for more at 13 minutes into the game. VandeR might throw out that death sentence. He's going to stick around the side, doesn't get touched, doesn't go aggressive. They play it cautiously, and they hold on. 2-1 in turrets, Rocket with that lead. And Overpow went straight and got that Rod of Ages flat out, and the tier. It's a little late for the tier, a little late to start stacking that one out, but he's got it nonetheless, and obviously held on to a big chunk of gold. But I think the fact that he sat on that gold was just because he was basically free farming. It wasn't pressured, so he was like, why should I back away right now when I'm just not harassed at all?
And he was just waiting till he had enough gold to go back and instant buy the Rod of Ages, so he could start stacking that one as fast as possible. So he was left untouched in the mid lane. He has 2 kills now, 2 assists to his name. Even some towers gone. Things are looking pretty good for Rocket here in the late game comp so far.
Oh, there's the hook on towards nRated. He's going to black shield up a little bit like there. Celaver actually taking good damage from the rat, so Rocket start to back away a little bit, right? So Jesiz coming down there as well. Just as a note, I feel like this tier is about 10 minutes earlier today than it was yesterday for Overpow. He got that in very late yesterday to get himself up to it was basically a last-minute Xerath's Embrace that just converted as they were basically going in towards that last fight. Again, trying to push this turret advantage.
But just the fact you could go back and get the instant Rod of Ages is very, very important, because if you notice Xaxus, he's going to build Rod of Ages as well. So you get two members, a standard Rod of Ages time, went back and boarded. They had to stack it up. That means you have like 10 minutes where you're not as strong as you possibly could be for the money you just spent on your item. That's kind of gone now, because the early Rod of Ages came in from Overpow and the early kills.
CandyPanda still desperately defending. Just had to use the Blade of the Rune King actually in that last wave to make sure he stayed strong. Svenskeren not really in a healthy situation to join and push this one. So Rocket sticking around, 3-member push in this bottom lane, and every time SK try and sweep across. We saw Jesiz, he'd snunk across the map, but he couldn't leave that mid open. Overpow putting pressure, and I think SK eventually are going to lose this tower. I don't think they're going to go for it, or they are going to push in. A flash soul shackles from nRated. How will it backfire? Will it work out? That sentence comes in. nRated's going down here.
It's
Celaver that gets it. That's a 3-0-2. The tower now low. Overpow comes across once again. Svenskeren in trouble. The rat already down. They could just turn on towards the tower. They want to get themselves this stealthy kill. Overpow gets a double. You could not hope for more for Rocket right now.
And that was just such a smart play, such a smart setup here by Rocket, because by keeping Jankos in the bottom lane, they also forced Svenskeren to stay there to defend the tower, which meant Overpow in the mid lane could just sit and farm one-on-one and look for the chance to teleport down. Because remember, double teleport from Rocket here, so as soon as Svenskeren went in for the fight, instant teleport from Rocket, from Overpow, who's just been sitting and farming in the mid lane, turned it around as well, even got a kill before he arrived, and then he picked up a double kill. So perfect setup by Rocket here. Overpow, let's see if he can survive.
Gone for it, not going to get it.
Charm went in there, and Overpow did go low. Ignite use along with everything else from Jesiz, and just managed to get a tower. So that's the kind of thing we're looking for here. If you are playing against this double teleport comp and Kassadin leaves the lane, you've got to punish him. You've got to take the tower. You've got to have a healthy CS lead coming out of it. Has a 10 CS lead. Got that out of the tower now. Problem is that this is kind of a fed Kassadin already at 4-0-2.
He's free farming in the lane. Picked up multiple kills. Got the first dragon as well, because Jankos managed to steal it. It's just perfect for Overpow right now. Yes, okay, he lost his tower because he teleported, so now Rocket needs to invest in a few extra wards to spot out where Jesiz is actually moving around. And SK Gaming, they need to get a move on.
Well, they got 10 seconds on the dragon. SK tried to ward it out, but immediately they got swept and cleared by Rocket, so vision was not really gained by them despite having positional advantage. Rocket got themselves the blue for Overpow, and he moves on down towards there. Svenskeren, they want to try and put some punishment onto Overpow, but there's still... I just don't think they can pin him down anymore. I think they've left it too late already.
Just going to clear the pink ward here, moving into the river, feeling very confident they can actually take control. Also because CandyPanda is still sitting in the bottom lane, and Celaver is running with the rest of Rocket. So get down the pink wards, clear the wards from SK Gaming, and now force them to pretty much face check you if you actually want to contest this dragon.
Yeah, look at Overpow. He's that face check at your peril. Svenskeren does come around. He's going to be the target.
The hook pin. That would have been a kill.
And Cocoon fired off, but SK, they're moving in.
Oh, they're actually going in towards Jankos here. Have they got it down from Svenskeren? Actually going quite low. Freddy that will jump in. There's the shutdown for Jesiz. Can they get Xaxus? Actually, Soul Shackles coming in out of Morgana. Xaxus going to be locked up. He's going to go down this time around. And just like that, it's a 3-1 for SK.
So the hook from VandeR that missed onto Svenskeren here was very, very important. He just dodged it, otherwise he would have died instantly. We would never had this team fight, and instead the binding from nRated hit. It started the whole fight. Early kill coming in for SK Gaming and Overpow. I was trying to steal, well, we do have 4 kills, but not going to steal Dragon just yet.
I think they just wanted to force anything away, maybe try and put them under punishment. Look at this though. This is where SK quickly pounced, and they were all grouped.
Yeah, all grouped from Rocket. It's all about getting their pick from the hook, but they miss it. Binding onto Jankos, he goes down instantly, and now the fight starts. Jesiz coming in from behind the dragon, instant killing Celaver. He thought he was safe, sitting in the dragon pit. Turns out, Jesiz had snuck around and picked up a killer. So now a very nice setup by SK Gaming, getting the pixie, and they make him like they want to do, and also the dragon.
So let's have a look where that leaves us then. Almost at the 20-minute mark, and there's a 500 gold lead for Rocket on the blue side. Overpow slightly behind here on CS, but not to the levels you've previously seen him falling off. If you look at the top lane, it's Freddy that has the advantage there. Spirit Visage for him, and again, double AP comp, it makes it a little bit easier to itemize. And obviously the Spirit Visage, like Mondo in that last game, works nicely because of the blood price and blood, which I forgot the name of yesterday, and I've just forgot it again, official. It's all your fault.
It's all my fault. Well, still Aatrox. We rarely do see like Warmogs on an Aatrox, so not as powerful against the double AP as a Dr. Mundo. But Spirit Visage early on always helps.
Bloodthirst. I should know it, Bloodthirster, you know.
It's all right, Joe, I got you back. Deficio is ignoring you.
As always.
ROCCAT are defending full force in his top lane. SK were trying to move in to try and cover it off, but instead they were in there, and actually, Freddy's going to have to back away from this one. He realized there was actually more members than he'd planned. CandyPanda backing down towards the bottom, going to get himself a big, gigantic wave of minions, and everybody, including ROCCAT, have started to slow it down a little bit. They're going to try and push along this top lane, see if they can create a situation. They've got 4v2 at the moment. Numbers are in their favor, but SK responding. Celaver getting a couple of free hits, but in that Dragon Pit, it was Freddy that bounced onto Celaver. Celaver way too slow to react. Still got his flash up, still got his heal up, didn't rocket jump out because he had no chance. He was literally bounced in the air, charmed up, taken down so quickly. Overpow though, look at this. Sneaking in, and CandyPanda fancies a bit of this. He's got himself a Blade of the Rune King, flashes across, Ratatatat is running. Overpow's going to get a hit, and he's taken down.
Yeah, Blade of the Rune King completed for CandyPanda. He's going to be so strong here in the mid game. And he just got one of the most important picks for him because he got the shutdown goal as well and stops the blue buff onto Jesiz. And looking at the idea for ROCCAT here, sending 4 members top lane with teleport from Overpow was okay in the sense that if you look at the wave turn side of SK Gaming, they need Jesiz and Svenskeren to be there. CandyPanda on Twitch won't really be able to just instant clear a wave like Jesiz can do, and he was actually sitting in the mid lane. Completely backfired, CandyPanda picked up the kill and moved off to Jesiz.
See that different itemization slightly here from Jankos. After they got ahead in that last game, he obviously went just straight in there and said, I'm just going to go damage here because we are doing work with this Elise. We do see that Spectral Wraith once again. Actually went Sorcerer Shoes earlier this time. Last time we saw him go Haunting Guys. Also got a Giant's Belt in there as well. Freddy's also picked up a Vamp Scepter now, so looking like he's going to be going Blade as his second item after that Spirit Visage.
Yeah, some big items across the board. Zonya's Hourglass for Overpow. Static Shift finished off by Celaver, so he's pretty much happy. CandyPanda gets himself the Ghost Blade. DFG is there for Jesiz. A lot of these big items are already collected by both teams, so both are in a happy position to maybe, just maybe, pick a big team fight or assassinate someone. Just saw CandyPanda, the power he's got. Won't quite work out against Overpower with that Zonya's now on him though. But he's already proven that if I'm going to stealth around, catch somebody out, it could well be a big point of vision right now. And
it is.
At the 22-minute mark, we know these two teams, they tend to have some issues.
Yeah, it was so strange in the last game because ROCCAT is normally the team who puts a lot of focus on getting down these wards, and they had 0 on the map. SK Gaming were better at the vision control. They were not good enough, but they were better, which was enough for them to actually get the picks and get back in the game, even though they were very far behind in the early game. Ooh. Against ROCCAT here.
Sneaky.
Let's see, Overpow in the top lane, on to Freddy.
And what's he going to do? Does have his Bloodwell passive available, but there's a lot of damage coming his way. Should be popped here, but look at the regen that he's getting. He's not doing exactly that much damage while he's going for it, though. And his passive is going to be popped here. Xaxus should be able to just twist and advance, knock him back once again. Mid-air as well. And that means that Freddy is slowly but surely going down, and it's Overpow that gets his 5th kill.
And nobody from SK Gaming is reacting on the map. There was no dragon for them to take. The mid lane, they were sitting 3 members from ROCCAT to just wave cleared. And down this bottom lane, the wave was pushed actually up to their side, and CandyPanda just had to try and push it down towards this tower. Won't be able to get anything from it. So nice little setup here by ROCCAT. They can push in now. Yeah, they have double teleport as well for Dragon.
SK is simply moving in, trying to go for a red buff, while they're losing the top tower. And as you mentioned, double teleport, both available for ROCCAT. So if they really need to react fast, they can. SK moving down the bottom. CandyPanda actually, the death sentence so close to catching him. Top tower for free.
So SK Gaming, they had a lot of minions built up in the bottom lane, but because there's Static Shift on Celaver, if he's left to just walk up to these minions, he will kill them extremely fast. And SK Gaming reacted way too slow. They were sitting in the mid lane saying, okay, are we going to go bot lane and take this wave and push it in? If they wanted to do that, they had to be there once the wave arrived at the tower. Otherwise, Celaver would just clear it instantly. If they'd been there from the start at the bottom lane, to reply, Celaver wouldn't have been able to clear it as fast, and they could have potentially got some damage on the tower.
Oh, this could be bad. Jankos actually just unknowingly to him, I think, sidestepping the binding. And, wow, SK looking for an opportunity inside of the jungle of ROC, but don't manage to get it. Jesiz is still stalking around as well. Will actually come in behind the rest of the team. TP will come in on one side. There is Jesiz going through. He's going in for Celaver. He uses DFG. Exhaust comes down. Freddy's right in the middle of them. Celaver actually flashed away, and the damage he's doing is immense. Does get finished off by Jesiz though in the end, and Freddy will also pick himself up a kill. Meanwhile, they get one on towards Overpow. Jankos does finally kill off Jesiz, but it's another 3-1 for SK.
But what is Rocket actually doing here? Look at their own jungle. It is controlled by SK Gaming. They have no wards to spot out Jesiz actually coming from the flank, and yet they run into the river here. They teleport in with Kassadin as well, looking for the fight, having no idea where both Freddy and Jesiz is coming from. And as soon as the fight actually starts, Celaver is in the back. We're gonna see it again here. There's no vision in this bush, so Jesiz jumps from it. Freddy TP's in. Celaver is already out of the fight. Like, he's gone. He's gonna die next time Jesiz even jumps towards him. Now you lose so much damage from this already. At the same time, Overpow, he teleported in. He wanted to try and pick up a kill on CandyPanda. Beautiful binding by nRated. And Overpow had no impact in the fight. And the fact there's no wards on the side to spot out where the Ari, who, by the way, already flanked you twice now and killed you, is just very, very poor ward control by Rocket. I'm not sure what they're doing.
Mid-game dragon fights.
Well, that's another point.
Right at the start of the game that you've got to... If you've got that weak midpoint of the game and your opponent has the likes of an Ari with a DFG that's literally just going to flank around, if you don't have the vision in there, let the dragon go.
Exactly. You can take the fight if you feel like you have control around the dragon here, and you can spot out the members of SK, and you can decide when to engage and how you want a team fight. But when you have no wards, Ari can just one-shot your AD carry if she actually gets onto him. Don't run into the river and take the fight here. It's way too risky, even though they actually skipped most of the mid-game point because they got so many items. And Overpow.
Force Ball says suddenly gets a hint, and I think it may well have been Svenskeren who's actually coming across the side. I'm not too sure. He's going to go back on CandyPanda. CandyPanda taking low. Rat-a-tat-tat comes out. Zonya's hourglass used for that exact purpose. The cooldown back on CandyPanda will not be available, but Svenskeren is still there. Has he got enough? Rift walks away. No. Celaver Svenskeren will chase him down. He's got no help. He goes down again. And that's just not working out for them. SK now, 4 members. They're going to push along that bottom. Rocket, they're instead reacting. They're going to try and rush the mid.
Well, they have one member pushing the mid lane, and now Jankos and VandeR can join in. Freddy's already there to try and hold the tower. 4 members in the bottom lane. Overpow, he jumped away from CandyPanda first. Didn't even give it any thought process. There could be more members from SK Gaming around him. Once again, there is no wards to spot anyone from SK Gaming. And then he just jumps in for a one-on-one in the SK Gaming's, or towards SK Gaming's tower here. It's, I mean, towards the lane, you could say. It just made no sense again. Poor warding, taking chances, taking risks, and it completely backfires. You had the perfect start for Kassadin. 4 kills, 4-0 Kassadin. Now you died 3 times in a row. You got 1 kill from it.
I've seen him pick up that Archangel staff, so trying to get that stacked as quickly as he possibly can. Blue buff is available as well, so that'll go straight on to Overpow. If we look over towards Jesiz, his Ari as well will be developing more items here very soon. I'm wondering whether he's actually going to go just pure death count for masses of damage there, or whether he'll try and be a little safer. Go in there for that Zonya's Hourglass. We'll find out here shortly, because he should have a decent amount of gold to actually spend. In the top lane, Freddy got himself the Cutlass, then after that actually picking himself up a Giant Bell, as is in the jungle as well. So Svenskeren and Freddy starting to get a little bit of tankiness to them.
Oh, CandyPanda's going in again. This time the rappel is on point. That will get out. And that is a lot burned actually for SK. They popped out. It's just, I tell you, just Spirit Rush. CandyPanda held on to the rat-a-tat-tat, so it is still up should they need it. Moving in towards this next fight. They're going to push to the top wave. Xaxus is already backing away from this one. I'm not sure he's quick enough. Svenskeren could have gone on, could have slowed him down, but the rest of Rocket all in the mid lane.
Still going to get the mid tower here. Almost got the pick onto Jankos. Jesiz tried to time his charm in the very end with the rappel coming down, because there was a lantern ready from VandeR. It didn't work though, just waiting for the Spirit Rush to come back off cooldown, and they can try to do the exact same thing again. You constantly see CandyPanda and Jesiz, they look for these picks here. They have better wards on the map. They need to place more wards, however. They need to sell the Dawn's Blades they have now for both Freddy and Svenskeren. Go super aggressive on deep warding, and then they can just walk into the jungle of Rocket and wait for one member to move between the lanes and pick up the kills here. Rocket though, they want to fight, and not gonna happen.
Jump through into the Dragon Pit there, and not too much of a danger for SK Gaming. Overpow in straight back into that mid lane. They're going to try and push that one up. There's not too much left on the map in terms of turrets at this point in favor of SK Gaming. Only the inner turrets still left on their side. It's not exactly a great picture on the other side of the map though either. Rocket only have middle inner and top inner turrets remaining. However, they will be scaling up here. We're going to be seeing Randuin's coming in next for the top laner.
I wish you could all see the despair on Fischer's face at 30 minutes into the game.
Not a happy man.
Still seeing the biscuit on Jesiz instead of actually going for wards. It's like, cheers, guys.
He even just went back to base. He just went back to base. Let's see how much gold he has. He's running. Okay, he couldn't actually afford a ward this time around, but he could sell his Dawn's Ring and then buy 2 wards. Would also work out. Same goes for the rest of his team. Because once again, you're looking for picks. You don't want to go to the real late game point. Why not just spam wards in the enemy jungle and just pick them off?
He might get hungry at some point. He needs that biscuit just to save himself. So the high mobility of these two teams is quite visible in the team fights, of course. But for me, Freddy has just been a monster. He's a damage threat. That's the problem right now. Xaxus has not been able to get onto CandyPanda because he's too busy trying to control everyone else. Jesiz gets free reign around the back, and then Overpow goes in amongst 5 people. We saw him doing it with Fizz all day yesterday.
Yeah.
Here we go, though. nRated. Will he get picked off? Jankos not going to fire anything towards him. Rocket, again, 0 vision in that river area. No idea. They can see that. Simply going to get wave cleared out. Hook on to Svenskeren. That's the target they want. They're going to jump in and take him out. Now, Rocket finally get an advantage. nRated tried to put the black shield on. A little bit late on that, puts it on himself.
It is pretty amazing that 1 ward from Rocket is actually enough for him to secure the dragon here, because for some reason SK Gaming sent in 2 members to clear the ward here, and they stand on each other, and there's only 1 black shield instead of putting the black shield on their 1 guy. Would even be better if you put it on your support Morgana, who is ranged, and then he can stand under the dragon with a black shield and clear the ward while the rest of the team is waiting. It would probably have worked out. Instead, you end up actually giving a pick here because your Xaxus goes in without the black shield to clear the ward. He dies, dragon is gone, even though you actually had control around it.
To be fair, none of what nRated just did there at Dragon made any sense whatsoever. So.
Only have him kill the ward with the black shield. I mean.
Well, I mean, he actually saw the hook come onto Svenskeren, and then he's like, oh, just put this black shield on me and walk away. No problem, I'm still alive. Whatever, things like that can happen. And gives a kill and a dragon over to Rocket, though. If we look down the goal, 51 to 52.7. So SK Gaming have a lead here, but can they match the late game power of Rocket?
Nope. And Deathcap coming up next item for Overpow, unless he wants to get a void staff first. And at the same time, you have Tristana now going towards probably the last Whisper as these 4 items, and once that is completed, well then Tristana becomes the real late game monster. And then it's all about, again, SK Gaming flanking around if they want to kill Celaver, and if Rocket actually managed to place some wards in the late game teamfights, then all of a sudden Celaver is going to be very, very hard to kill.
Still think Freddy's going to have a lot to say about these team fights. He seems to find Celaver fairly easily. And at the moment with that Guardian Angels now on CandyPanda, I think he's looking at maybe trying to create a play. It looks like top lane is where SK want to focus, but Rocket, they are in and around this blue buff area. Jankos may get caught out of position here. He's in between. They're going to try and sneak around Freddy, but they don't realize that he's there. They don't realize the rat is right by. Overpow does. He jumps on him. CandyPanda the focus. Overpow in trouble. Has the Zhonya's. Can he get out? Yes, he does. The shield on in towards it, but that's Rocket in serious trouble. And Overpow will just get picked off once again as SK push on down the lane.
Oh, VandeR actually getting charmed up here as well. He's in trouble. Is he going to be finished off? One more in from Twitch will do it. Ignite is down anyway, and Jesiz will get that one. And it's a 2-for-1. Could well have been more. You can see Xaxus flashing help while SK can just turn around and do Baron.
And Rocket is playing so over-aggressive in this game here. I'm not sure why. They even have the late game. They don't have to constantly force these picks here. They jump towards Freddy, have no idea where the rest of the members from SK are, and they keep chasing down this Aatrox with his passive, by the way. And then everyone from SK just joins in
the charm
and kill them.
A little early from Xaxus there. Celaver at the side, he's getting some free shots down. Jesiz is the man interfering in. There's the Baron going down. Xaxus is left alone, and Celaver will back away from this one. So Baron picked up by SK. As you mentioned, Rocket were the ones that went aggressive. They were the ones that went looking. Jankos went in, Overpow went in, and then suddenly went, oh crap, the rat's here.
Yeah, wait, they actually even saw the 3 members from SK moving into the jungle. They didn't know where CandyPanda was, and yet they jumped Freddy. Everyone overcommits, and SK Game would just walk in from behind again, by the way, and pick up all the kills. VandeR in the very end, charm onto him, then he gets a binding, and you die.
I'm sure nobody saw the fail flash from Kenny.
No, nobody saw it.
Nobody saw that.
It was on purpose.
Yeah, he meant that. So, Rocket, again, gain themselves an advantage, and then go headlong into SK while they're just setting up for a kill themselves. It's not working out, and the team fights, honestly, are all going SK's way because Rocket are just playing recklessly.
Rocket is basically saying, we don't want a standard 5 versus 5 where all members can see each other, which is where our comp is very strong. We want to give your pick comp the potential to move around us and get the picks on our squishy members in the backline. And I hate to say it again, but even on Rocket's side here, you're sitting on Doran's ring, on a Maokai, into the late game. What is it going to do? Nothing at all. Sell it, get some wards. Sell your Doran's Blade on your 80 carry, get some wards. Sell your Flask on your Kassadin in the late game as well.
He's not got the biscuit anymore, that's what counts. But another tower. And SK continue pushing on through. Rocket going to hold out for a while here. That Baron buff still running. I expect them to just rotate for the mid. Death Sentence, Rocket trying to pull something out, but Jesiz has already cleared the wave. Everybody from SK moves on round. The next wave of minions. Overpow going deep on this one. Sonya's pulled out. There's the Lantern. He needs to click it, but they're just going to bounce him up. And Overpow is out. Now SK, they're going to pounce on. They're going to finish him.
Yeah, they're absolutely destroying him here as well. CandyPanda with a rat-a-tat-tat running will help finish that fight off, and they get the inner turret. They should be taking an inhibitor at least with them here. I mean, there's 40 seconds on Xaxus, there's 40 seconds on Overpow. Inhib's down.
I have never seen someone get 4 kills early on Kassadin, one of the best champions in the late game, and a snowball in the game, and then completely throw it away.
Well, tilt is something we talk about, not too often, but that is absolutely what has just happened in Overpow. What in God's name was that? Why would you go in 5 members with a Baron and hop over the wall? God only knows. SK Gaming gifted the game, wrapped up in a present from Rocket. It's 2-0, and SK Gaming, they're one step away from Worlds.
And both teams are just ignoring the wards completely in this game here. But because Rocket is doing an even worse job than SK Gaming, it actually ends up, in the end, it actually looks like SK Gaming is doing a very good job controlling the map here and finding the right picks, because they're just free to do whatever they want. No response from Rocket here. I'm not even sure what to say. Rocket should have won this game here. They couldn't have wished for a better start. I mean, SK Gaming in the start of the game completely disrespected the fact there was double teleport. 2 times if you see Overpow teleport down to the bottom lane and get the kills. Like the first one where SK Gaming is diving onto Rocket, Overpow instant teleports, picks up a kill. Second one is where Svenskeren down the bottom lane, he starts a gank, knowing Jankos is there, and again, forgetting about the teleport from Overpow, he comes in, picks up a double kill, turns the fight around, and yet with that perfect start, you end up losing the game.
It's astonishing to me, in a way. It leaves me almost speechless, like 4-0-4, I think it was for him.
Yeah.
Ends up 5-5-4. He literally only just died in the second half of the game there, where he was only getting stronger, where his Xerath was done, where he was building up Void Staff, where his Rod of Ages was fully charged. The decision-making from him, from Overpow specifically in this game, was just almost non-existent, and I feel it. The thing is, if you have a bad game like this, in game number 2 of a best of 5, you're going to go into game number 3 thinking, there's no way we can win this. There's no way we can do this. But that's exactly the opposite of what they need to think. They need to win 3 games in a row. And look at Veggie there, the coach of Rocket. That is not a happy man.
No, and there's a lot of things.
A lot of finger pointing going on.
Yeah.
And justifiably so. Looking at SK though, looking on the bright side of things, another great performance from Jesiz, 6-2-7. CandyPanda on Twitch, switch it across, 6-2-10. Stealthing up, finding the targets, getting the kills.
Didn't even have a good start. That's the worst
Didn't
thing.
need it, apparently.
He didn't need it because as soon as Rocket decided, okay, we no longer want to ward, we no longer want to take proper team fights, they just got caught out again and again and again, flanked around. I mean, remember the Dragon fight as well, where it's actually Rocket setting up, they had wards around the Dragon now, SK Gaming walks in, Svenskeren alone, he just walks in, dodges the hook, and then all of a sudden everyone is like spotted from Rocket and nRated walks in, lands a binding onto Jankos, kills him, win the team fight, get the Dragon, and from there on out, it was just SK Gaming who won everything. You can pretty much post a picture of me and Joe now, sitting like this, and that's what we did during this game here.
We've all seen that one. Jesiz as well, very good, picking off targets around the side.
They have to ban Ari. They
never
have to
went
do it.
straight in there. Fantastic stuff. Oriana ban, you've got to question it maybe for Rockout, who knows. So, for now though, let's get over to Shox, who is standing by with Crepo and Quickshot to take us through that SK win.
Thank you very much, D-Man. Game 2 here, SK takes it once again. Crepo, your vision on picks amends. We did saw Twitch coming in. You said it had to be career level Twitch to be good, but CandyPanda did pretty well.
He did well, but I was actually surprised they didn't just pick up Tristana there, because you would expect Rocket to first pick Tristana because they needed it so badly because they were uncomfortable on all the AD carries. They ended up picking Maokai, and then SK reacted with Morgana and Kha'Zix. I do think picking Kha'Zix is good there because Jankos plays it well. Svenskeren obviously did well with first game, did well again this game, but why don't you just pick Tristana, put Celaver on uncomfortable AD carry and win the game that way, because he was doing well. He was 2-0-2 at one point, and Rocket could have snowballed this game.
Yeah, could have, but didn't. I mean, this was super interesting pick and ban phase, the way that it played out, and you can talk about all the different options. It's not often a team goes, we have a counter for Kassadin, and it works. But it did this time around, arguably not because of the composition, but because of Rocket's play style. You know, as they got into the game, it was very aggressive. There was lots of team fights, and that Dragon Pit and the River is just completely running red with blood, because every single time the Dragon was up, these two teams went ham over and over and over.
The fact that so many of these fights revolved around Dragon makes it as a good indicator that both of these teams have really subpar vision control and are not playing the map correctly, because they're literally not pushing any objective other than a Dragon, because there's no way for them to move around the map well enough to do it. It just boils down to, oh, we ran out of wards, oh, the Dragon Pit's dark, yeah, let's try a bait and let's see if it works, and whoever team fights better and more aggressively or doesn't clump up will win. And it's kind of sad, because I don't think in the first 30 minutes of the game, Rocket got a ward over the halfway point of the river, ever, maybe one time, and you need deep vision. If you have a mobility boots Thresh, send your Tristana mid, she has a shiv, let her go mid, Kassadin go bottom, support and jungle, roam around together, put those deep wards in, and then like play the map. League is so beautifully, just do it.
Well, you guys are mentioning the Dragon, and let's take a look at one of the Dragon fights, and I actually want to set this one up because Rocket was ahead, which is against all odds. You have a late game comp, yet the Tristana and the Kassadin already have kills. By all means, with the Rod of Ages completed, you should be able to do something here.
Yeah, the next Dragon fight coming in is actually really interesting. Is that replay on the screen right now?
Yep.
Yes, it is. Great, wonderful. If we roll that clip right now, we're gonna see the hook miss, and right there, like, it just missed, and this is how nRated wins this Dragon fight, by the way. So Rocket's clumping in the corner, looking for a pick with a hook, but right before they throw it, nRated walks up and gives vision and sees Drake is not being done. That's a clear indicator that SK is like, oh well, damn, they're not doing the Drake, they must be baiting. And you see Svenskeren shift his movement pattern right at that second. Hook misses, Cocoon misses, they're clumped up, and yeah, if we roll the clip, you're going to see what's going to happen right away. SK is in prime position to capitalize on this. They've been playing really aggressive. Jesiz is going around to the side. CandyPanda opens up. There's no zone. Celaver gets popped as well, and this is exactly what Rocket needs. They need to pop the priority targets. SK needs rather pop the priority targets, go in and just blow them up. And it's really unfortunate because Rocket had such a big lead, and they lost it by grouping up with not enough vision control.
Jesiz as well, going around the back of the pit, coming over the back wall just to jump onto the target. This wasn't the first time, it wasn't the last time that he did that.
No, it wasn't the last time, and I actually want to showcase it immediately at the second Dragon fight. We wanted to show Jesiz extremely good play, extremely good positioning, and actually tag teaming with Freddy.
Yeah, so, you know, this next Dragon fight comes later in the game, and by this point, SK have already won a couple of fights back to back. They put some kills on the board, and it feels like they're gaining some control of the game because they're punishing Rocket's mistakes. What I really want you guys to keep your eye on is Jez's positioning. I said at the beginning of the day, Jesiz is the player to watch. If you give him Ari, he's going to ruin your day. Roll the clip out, and Celaver's doing what in theory is the right thing. He's sticking behind his tank line, he's sticking behind his players. But they didn't anticipate that Jesiz was going to come through the river because of the poor warding that you were talking about, Crepo, and CandyPanda just gets a free team fights.
Yeah, the fact that Jesiz plays so far forward, even with a squishy mage, yeah, maybe he just goes 1-for-1, but he'll dragging the enemy team with him, and this gives free reign for CandyPanda. You need at least 2 or 3 people to take down a Twitch. If there's not 2 or 3 people, you might as well be 0, because he'll just tear through your team, and that's exactly what Jesiz is doing. He's basically a damage run and a distraction at the same time, and he's coming from the flank, and Rocket doesn't ward their flanks, so he's playing really well.
So, Trevor, I would actually like to talk to you about that a little more. As you said, Jesiz has gotten better, and it's such a testament when he used to play those super safe champs. You have the Ziggs, you have the Orianna. Now he plays Ari, he jumps directly into the fight. He relies on his reflexes to flash out and dash back in. That's such stride.
Look, it's very good decisional play. I'm going to be very hypercritical. He misses a lot of charms.
Yeah.
But he's always in the right place. Whenever he is playing Ari, he's very rarely jumping into the middle of the team fight and instantly dying. He does find his targets, he does pick the right moment to jump in, and you could argue if he applied the same decision-making to the likes of a Kassadin, which was available, he could do something very similar. But I just think that's a testament to SK's playstyle. They are generally very smart, they do handle their team fights and their positional play well. And I hate saying it because we've been saying it all week long and for the last couple of weeks, but both of these teams have had good and bad vision moments. Believe it or not, during the regular split, Rocket's actually had the highest amount of wards placed. As hard as that may be to believe after the last couple of games. But SK, they are not, and if they did, they could be doing much better.
Even better, actually. Finally, and as we go into the next game, we saw it there on the screen. Veggie was basically screaming at Rocket, probably saying, you know, what happened there, because we had a clear-cut plan. It must be very hard on, and that's 2-0 down already.
When you never know if Rocket's not doing what their coach is telling them, or if the coach is telling them the wrong things, or they just don't understand, or they don't see the opening. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I think really in this case, the opening was Tristana's fed right, so is Kassadin. What you do is you put your Tristana mid, she will be your wave clear. You have this mobile, high-range assassin in bottom that can just assassinate anybody or just roam around, and that's the way you open up the map. Tristana stays mid. This allows Thresh to roam with Moby Boots, joined by their jungler. They can get deep vision, and that's how you open the map up. I really hope Rocket learns from this and sees we don't need to stick to our traditional lanes so long, because it is mid game. AD carry doesn't have to be bottom. Mid laner doesn't have to be mid. Spice it up, get deep vision, and control the game that way, because they can get their leads, but they're just not using them.
So just very, very quickly, I'm seeing Crepo's line because he said this backstage. Rocket played better in game 2 than they did in game 1. They were making calls. Were those calls good?
Some of them.
Some of them, correct. But the fact of the matter is, they were making calls, they were following them. In game 1, they were near non-existent. Rocket needs to just settle their nerves. They've got nothing left to lose. If they don't relax and pick up a win now, at this point in time, they're basically out.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree.
They literally just have to forget all of it. I mean, Veggie is so animated. And I just think as a team, they literally have to shake off, forget everything, and just go balls to the wall. It'll work, and maybe you'll get another game. If not, you're out.
Yeah, all or nothing. That's what they have to do now. For now, though, we're going to check in with you guys at home, because at the start of the show, we asked you to tell us, with so much on the line today, which player do you think will make the biggest impact on today's third place match, and why? The first one is from @JoshuaMRock. SK seems to succeed or fail based on how well Jesiz plays and what picks he gets. It all rides on him. #no pressure.
Yep, called it. Yep. I completely agree. I actually think Jesiz has a fairly limited champion pool in what he does extremely well. Like his Ari is very good. I believe his Orianna is very good, his Ziggs. But then it falls off very quickly. So if you do decide to ban him out, we've seen him play Zed, and it's not that great.
The second one is from @StormOfPeace. CandyPanda has been the backbone of SK, making plays and keeping a great performance throughout the games. Once he gets rolling, it's over, and he didn't even have to step up that much. He has to just play his game.
Well, he did well. Some of those fights, positional play was good. Twitch can be an engager when the enemies are in a position. We saw that in one dragon fight. CandyPanda saw the enemy out of position. He didn't wait for somebody else to engage. He said, okay, I'm going to pop my ulti. This will start a fight that will win regardless. I just hope SK sticks to that strategy. Ban Kog'Maw, pick Tristana early, and then force Celaver on an uncomfortable AD carry.
The next one is from @BuffetE7. I think Jankos will make the biggest impact today with his aggressive playstyle. He will carry Rocket through this series. That is something we could have said after yesterday's games, but not been able to show up that much today.
Not just yet. There is still time. if he does get an early first blood, maybe there could be the confidence that ROC need to pick up this third game and hopefully take it longer in the series.
Yeah, that's right. Remember, you can always stay in the conversation by tweeting at LOL Esports and using the hashtag LCS. We're going to distort out of here for a little bit. Or are we? Yes, we are. Game 3 starts right after this.
CandyPanda sneaks on in there. Jankos going to be the focus target. They will get themselves first blood. Freddy will pick that up. Overpow on Xaxus. Oh, the charm on Xaxus. That will be his death.
Oh, they're actually going in towards Jankos here. Have they got the down for him? Svenskeren actually going quite low. Freddy then will jump in. Freddy's right in the middle of them. Celaver actually flashed away, and the damage he's doing is immense. Does get finished off by Jesiz though in the end, and Freddy will also pick himself up a kill.
Sonya's pulled out. There's the lantern. He needs to click it, but then she's going to bounce him up. And Overpow is out. Now SK, they're going to pounce on, they're going to finish him.